right, ladies and gentlemen, we have mountains. That is what we're going to talk about today. Last time we talked about continents. Remember, there are 7 continents, and under the continents are the tectonic plates. And I talked about the fact that the tectonic plates are really important because with the next few things, because they move around. These tectonic plates move around. So they will hit into each other. And then sometimes one will go up and that makes a mountain. So these plates they're sitting here and they move towards each other, and they're moving towards each other. As they do that, mountains will start to form. Also, sometimes they move apart and lava starts to come up, and that's another type of mountain that we will talk about in a little bit. But these mountains we're talking about right now, they come about because the tectonic plates moved. We also have mountains that are formed because of glaciers moving down. Glaciers are big, giant balls of ice that are like the size of Storm Lake. And they roll down from like Canada, and then they roll back up. And when they did that, they kind of created some of these mountain ranges. Some of these mountain ranges existed, but now they're a little flatter. So we're going to talk about a few of these mountain ranges. Oh, no. Aw. Okay,
The Waikor? I'll ski that for sure. 1,000 vertical feet.
This is Pikes Peak.
This 14,000-foot mountain has a road to the summit.
Pikes
So you
Peak,
ski first,
you will see
then you
them
climb.
do a lot of things like skiing on Pikes Peak.
This is the top of the eastern branch of the Waikor. After a short down climb, I'll be able to put my...
And stop this guy's getting ready to do.
The first 2 turns are always the most important.
Skiing down the mountain. Woo! Another video National Park. It's on the east coast. The Rocky Mountains is on the west coast. The Smoky Mountains,
Great Smoky Mountains is one of the largest natural areas in the
That's
East.
where they get their
More than
name.
800 square miles,
So
a
cloudy
grand monument
there
to the diversity
that
of
they call
life
it Smoky
and the
Mountains.
resilience of nature.
There's a lot of beautiful.
Long after Europeans
The
arrived in this
waterways.
homeland of the Cherokee, people lived off the region's natural abundance, hunting, clearing land for agriculture, and pasturing livestock. Life changed dramatically in the early 1900s with the arrival of large-scale logging.
And
Boom
then
towns depended on manufactured goods, store-bought food, and cash. Over only 2 decades, much of the
also
primeval
have
forest disappeared. The distinctive,
another
self-sufficient character of the region appeared doomed.
mountain. Which is the Ozark Mountains. These mountains are very short. These are the shortest mountains you're going to find. They seem more like hills, but they are in fact mountains. These mountains they believe, were much taller than they are today, but because of the glaciers that I mentioned earlier, they are a lot shorter than they were. But you can see that there's lots of rocks in this area with lots of cliffs. We also have lots of waterfalls.
In May of 2015, I had the incredible
Another
privilege of
Smoky
taking an
Mountain
upper division
video.
botany course from my university. As part of the class, we spent a total of 6 days up in photographing wildflowers and all in all having a grand time in life. I wasn't able to shoot any video, but did take lots of photos. And that's what's coming up next. Our first day's destination was the Little River and Cucumber Gap trails, which take off from the Elkmont campground. While I cannot show any pictures due to spoiler issues, I quite happily was able to complete a virtual geocache on the trail by simply counting the number of windows that was on one of the nearby cabins. Yay for geocaching in the Smokies! I already had a smile on my face, but getting a second smiling for my geocaching profile was even better.
And our last video is not available. Right. So these mountains are very, very important. You will also, between the mountains are going to be valleys. In these the valleys, as you can see in the picture, they will have lakes and rivers and lots of little streams. Basically what it is that the snow is at the top of the mountain most of the year, and then when it warms up, the snow and ice melt, and it starts coming down the mountain in these streams. So, and they create valleys by cutting through the mountains. And that is it for today.